Hello, everyone, respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, and dear students. It is with great pleasure and enthusiasm that I welcome you all to this empowering webinar series jointly organized by Department of Education, Government of Gujarat, UNICEF, Ahmedabad Management Association, and Elixir Foundation. Our unified goal is to foster a culture of innovation, entrepreneurship, and digital empowerment and environmental consciousness among the youth of Gujarat. Our August Innovation Conference served as a catalyst, igniting the flames of creativity and curiosity within the hearts and minds of our bright students. And we saw a huge gathering of more than 500 participants of the SSIP and Innovation Club students across Gujarat. Today, we stand united once again with an even more ambitious endeavor to equip our students with the essential life skills and knowledge necessary to thrive in today's dynamic and competitive world. Through this webinar series, we aim to create a platform that not only imparts knowledge but also nurtures the entrepreneurial spirit, instills a passion for innovation, and fosters a deep understanding of the significance of digital empowerment and environmental sustainability. We believe that by providing these valuable insights and experiences, we can truly make our students market ready, preparing them to face the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. In the weeks to come, we have curated a diverse range of sessions that will dive into various aspects. Today, the theme of this webinar is idea to innovation, how to innovate, what are the basic aspects of innovation. And in the coming days, we would be also going through different webinar themes such as entrepreneurship, digital literacy, and climate change as well. So I encourage all the participants to actively engage in these sessions, to ask questions, and to challenge your own boundaries of knowledge. And let this be a transformative experience, a stepping stone towards realizing your own potential and contributing meaningfully to the world around you. This whole webinar series is a brainchild which was developed during the innovation conference in the month of August. And we are really very thankful to all our speakers who have joined, Dr. Salil Bhatt and Dr. Megha Bhatt. Thank you for joining. And also to the Department of Education, Government of Gujarat, UNICEF, Ahmedabad Management Association, Elixir Foundation, and all others who have supported us through this journey, and all the officials from the Department of the Education who are helping us to reach to the students in the last milestone. So without taking further time, I would now like to request to Dr. Salil Bhatt and Dr. Megha Bhatt to please continue with the session, the themed idea to innovation. Thank you.
So thank you, Krunal Bhai, and thank you to all the students, the respected people from different colleges from Modasa, Bhavnagar. I could see so many of them from Killapadi, and I'm so happy that all of you are here, and I'm sure we are going to have some good time together understanding idea to innovation. So whoever you are, maybe you are a science student or commerce student, a simple idea, simply making pickle or anything like clothing or recycling or any topic you pick up, how a simple idea can be generated and how it can be converted to innovation is the whole purpose of today's topic. And here I'm Dr. Megha Bhatt, basically a scientist and a researcher. And now, since last 6 years being edupreneur, that is women entrepreneur, having my own endeavor called Sinotech, which is an experiential learning center for school children. And
I am Dr. Salil Bhatt. I have always been, so I would say that I have seen both the sides of the world, because I have been in corporate for almost about 20 plus years. And from there, after 20 years, I started my journey as an entrepreneur in a startup. So as I said, I've seen both the sides of the world of corporate as well as startup ecosystem and innovation. And it would be great. And thank you so much to all the ecosystem of AMA, Elixir, UNICEF, and everybody to have invited us to talk about such an interesting subject to the prudent audience like you all. So shall we start?
Absolutely.
All right.
So we are going to be doing it together.
And if at all you have any specific query or question, you can just probably put it on the chat, and the people who have joined on YouTube they can also put as a comment, and probably time permitting will be
And
to take
Kunal
those
bhai,
questions.
continuously audience is coming in, so you can just take them in. I can see them, and I hope you are able to see my screen. Kunal bhai?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So here we go. So basically, when you say what is an idea or what is the idea space, children always have a question that if we tell them to prepare a project or anything, then they always have a question ke project se na par banao. So where is the idea is the problem, right? So basically, idea gets generated through either your passion or maybe your talent or your hobby. So passion, talent, and hobby are something which can be understandable just like that you may be very, very fond of playing a guitar, okay, or you may have an inherent talent of playing guitar, or maybe you are really, really passionate about feeding animals. So whatever is your passion or your talent or your hobby, if that is being nurtured, that it automatically gives you an idea that okay, I want to have a startup or a business which is related to possibly related to some keeping of some animals or something like that, which I'm really fond of. So passion, talent, and hobby can be definitely understood. It can be understood very easily. Now, the two things, environment and benchmarking. So when you talk about environment, that environment you are put in is, suppose you are in a situation where you are not getting something which you are desperately needing it at that point of time for doing some kind of services. So you feel that might as well, it is so much required by all the people, might as well I only start. And that's how we have so many agents who are into passport making right now, correct? So that was a need of an hour, so where people were in a situation where it was taking so much of time in filling up forms and everything. So we have so many agents around us. So basically, the environment created could be out of situation, our observation that okay, this is the need of an hour, and maybe our interaction with people around us, we can find out that okay, this is something which is very important. Then comes benchmarking. Benchmarking is where you think about something which you have seen somewhere abroad, and you really feel that wow, this system is absolutely amazing, and from our country's perspective we should have it like this, and definitely we should have something similar. Then it is supposedly benchmarking. Then coming to that, the next slide, which is questions to develop ideas. So you can have some kind of questions to yourself that what do I love doing? See, it's very difficult sometimes to find out that what do I like, especially those who are parents, they have all these questions about their children that I have no idea. I'm taking my child to music, I'm taking my child to skating, but I have no idea that for 3 months he likes skating and then he keeps telling me that I want to go for football. So basically, for as an adult now, it is very easy for us to find out that what do we actually like doing, right? So not only like, but what do I love doing? What are my 3 biggest talents? So suppose if I start writing, then my good handwriting, or maybe pickle making, as I said, anything can be my talent. Maybe I'm good with craft, maybe I'm good with painting, anything. What have I seen abroad or some other part of the country that I wish I had at home, and I really feel that okay, this is something which should be there in our country also. And this is supposedly the benchmarking what I was talking to you about, and this is one of the reasons we started Sinotech with, right? And that is the Montessori method, where it is the actual hands-on experiential learning method for school children going with their school curriculum. We started Sinotech. So that is what we saw in the other country like USA, and we thought of implementing here from the Indian perspective. So is there something I love that I cannot find it over here? Then I can start something new. And what service or product would I buy today if they existed? So basically, when you talk about the next part of it, say attribute to so anybody who has an idea will always would love to talk about it all the time, that okay, my friends, I have this idea, I'm restless, to start, to do something. That inherent curiosity is there to learn something new if it is related to the topic, and hungry to learn and hungry to share. That's what we say. So going to the next slide, I think Salil can carry on.
Yeah, so basically, one attribute which is extremely important to convert idea into some kind of an actionable entity is probably an entrepreneurial nature. So entrepreneurship is all about using your brain and motivating yourself and building right relationship. Entrepreneurship is a thought. It's not that somebody starts a business and he becomes entrepreneur. No, I mean, entrepreneurship requires lot more than just talking about business, about an idea. When Megha talked about the idea part of it, I would like to add that whatever idea you're toying around, it has to be a smart idea. You probably might have heard about SMART goals, but the idea has to be also smart. What do we call smart idea? So SMART. So S means the idea has to be very specific. It can be a specific to a solution, or maybe specific to a category. It has to be very specific and focused. Secondly, it has to be measurable. I mean, idea is abstract, but then it has to be ultimately measurable also in terms of whatever parameter you're talking about. Then comes A, which is actionable. The idea has to convert into some kind of an action. If at all idea remains in your brain or in an entrepreneur's brain, then it's of no use to the society. So it has to be actionable. Then comes idea has to be realistic. I mean, you can't just come up with a crazy idea. Yes, the idea can be crazy, but it has to be realistic enough to be put into practice also. And finally, the idea has to be time oriented. So if at all you have an idea and it is going to take a decade to implement that idea, then probably there might be a lot of other solutions to your idea which might take over the idea of yours. So this is kind of a smart idea what we are talking about. So basically, entrepreneurship, there are two terms what I want to talk here. One is entrepreneurship, so which refers to the process of creating a new enterprise and bearing any risks with the view of making profit. So there are two terms here. One is risk and another is profit. So an entrepreneur definitely takes risk because when the entrepreneurship journey starts, no one is absolutely clear that it's going to be successful or not. They say that it is going to take 999 days to decide whether you are a successful entrepreneur or not, or maybe your company has started generating profit, or at least taking care of the cost or not. So you have to wait for 3 years practically to actually know whether the company is profitable or not. And so there is a risk attached, but at the same time, once that risk is taken care of, then the profit in terms of not only money, but profit in terms of solid satisfaction also is something very different. Now comes startup. Startup is again beyond entrepreneurship. Startup itself has a lot of challenges to start with. I always say whenever I'm taking sessions at Nirma, AMA, PDPO, and everywhere, I teach their marketing management and all. And probably some of you might have heard that there are 4 P's which are important when it comes to any business: product, place, promotion, and price. I always say that when it's a startup, there are only 2 P's required. Forget about those 4 P's which management gurus have told you. Only 2 P's. One is patience and another is passion. So passion and patience. Unless until you have both, you cannot be a startup entrepreneur at all. You have to be patient enough and you have to be extremely passionate about what you are doing or what you are solving for the society. So that is what we call entrepreneurship, startup. And once again, I will tell you that if at all you have any specific query, you can just put it in the chat box. Okay, so this is kind of a formula. There is no formula to success of startup and all. But then if at all we broadly want to summarize all, then new business, passion, innovation, and a technology. Technology becomes extremely important now. And I'll talk to you more about when we talk about Sinotech in specific, how we came up with the idea, how we turned that into a startup and then eventually business, and how technology helped us. So all put together, new business, passion, innovation, and technology comes the startup. So we are talking about any kind of disruption in the market. Now, disruption, if at all, if you hear a word disruption, it sounds like a negative word. It's not a negative word. It's a very positive word. Disruption is like you have something going on in the society as a ritual. You want to break it and you want to introduce something very new. Like, for example, education system. There is a specific education system which I don't want to talk in detail about, but then we all have got raised with that education system, which is a rote learning or a mugged up learning. And we try to disrupt that or break that in our own way to put an experiential learning kind of a module for children for science and math at Sinotech. So that is what disruption is called. So any new idea is meant to disrupt an existing ritual. If I give you a popular example, then Uber, you'll not imagine, but the Uber, which is the world's largest taxi company, they own no vehicle. Airbnb, the largest accommodation provider, owns no real estate. Facebook, the most popular media provider, creates no content. Instagram company doesn't sell any camera. Netflix, fastest growing television network, lays no cables at all. Alibaba, most valuable retailer, has no inventory at all, right? So and these companies are you can see how they have disrupted the market. So on your left hand side of the screen, you have what was in past, and now the new innovators, how they have disrupted that existing market. So then this is about grocery. Then it was typically departmental stores. Now it's Grofer, the Bismarck, Friendly, or whatever. Then and now. So I mean books, and now you have tabs and everything. Then you have Taj, and now you have Airbnb and all. Then and now Flipkart, Snapdeal, Myntra, India Ka Fashion, right? I mean, you all know.
The youngsters knows much better
Right.
than us.
Then was a restaurant. Now it's a time of Swiggy's and Zomatos of the world. These all are technologically, they have disrupted the market. Imagine the kind of messages we are exchanging nowadays with a lot of such kind of modules and online platforms. This is kind of an online learning, which is a disruption in education system. And probably COVID was the reason why this came into existence also. India as a country is extremely rich because of one thing. We have almost about 35% of Indian population is youth, and youth is vibrant with ideas. Youth can take risk also a lot. Youth is extremely innovative. We believe me or not, I and Megha both have been teaching in different colleges and institutes and universities. And one thing which keeps us going is the zeal of the current students. They are so energetic and so passionate about what they're doing that those things make us on and on actually. These are some of the startups what we're talking about. At what age they started the startup. Paytm 37, Flipkart is 35, Snapdeal 31, Ola is 28, Oyo is 21. Imagine, I mean, just 21 years and you have a successful startup. These are some of the women who do that. That's okay. These are some of the startups founded by women. Yeah. And the best part is that all these known startups, imagine they have nothing to do with their studies, what they have graduated from. Flipkart was started by an engineer. Alibaba was started by a teacher. Oyo was a college dropout. Book My Show was started by an MBA student. Being Human, the main guy is an actor. Again, Paytm is an engineer. So if you really think about your studies and your degrees vis-a-vis the startup what they founded, they are very, very different. I'm not saying that the studies don't help. I'm an engineer, and my engineering skill is helping hugely in my education startup, right? So there are basically 5 elements of success when it comes to startups: ideas, team building. You have to have a business model. You have to have funding. You need money to run your company or your startup, right? And finally, the perfect timing. And we'll probably talk a lot more about it if at all. I mean, we meet in some of the next sessions or so about all these in detail. So basically, all it takes is an innovation that makes you an odd one out of all the events in the regular world. And talking more about innovation, probably Megha can throw more light on innovation part of it.
Yeah. So basically, when you talk about scientific thinking, how do you relate it with innovation and how the idea gets converted into innovation? So in short, when you say the act of introducing something new is innovating, right? But when somebody tells you that, you will feel that, did I really understand what is innovation? No, I did not. And for that reason, probably, I would really like to tell you a story. Okay. But first of all, when as to students, usually they have a kind of innovating fear that, okay, I'm not a creative enough person, to think about something. I'm not qualified to innovate, or my idea might be rejected immediately. Maybe I don't know how to invent anything. Where do I get these ideas? Where do I find my team members? So it's like, people have some kind of negative connotations to all that. And probably they may sometimes feel that I really, I'm not capable of, gathering a team who will be equivalent enough to have a fantastic startup. So basically, here you go about thinking about something which we call it to be design thinking. So my friends, design thinking, if I come back to this slide, just after a story, I think that would definitely help you guys much better. Okay, so I think some of the cameras are on and I'm happy about it. Thank you very much for the same, because then it is a two-way process what is happening for us. All right. So I think I'll tell you one story of one of my friend who is my IIT buddy, and she has her startup. I would show you what is her startup name and everything. But they were just engineering students and they were studying in a very small college in Nashik. And every weekend, 3-4 friends of them, they used to go to the Gram Panchayat to, serve and pass their time, in that particular city. So in there, they came to know that there is a couple who is completely blind by nature. Okay. And as engineering students or some commerce students, they thought that might as well, do I have a question that, okay, if they are completely blind, then उनको कभी लाइफ में कोई प्रॉब्लम होता होगा, कभी ऐसा होता होगा कि लाइफ में ऐसा सिचुएशन आया कि वो लोग डील ही नहीं कर पाए just because of their handicap nature. Okay. So they just happened to talk to them that, okay, can we come for a coffee to your place? And the couple immediately agreed and they went for a coffee to their house. And they saw that couple took them inside, she made a coffee for them. And nicely, just with a smell of coming up, she just switched off the gas and everything was set. All right. And then these kids, they asked that, आपको कभी प्रॉब्लम हुआ क्या? आप अंधे हैं तो कोई थोड़ा सा भी लाइफ में कोई प्रॉब्लम? तो बोलते कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ, बट हमारे लाइक एक बेटी है एंड शी इज कंप्लीटली नॉर्मल बाय विजन, गॉड फॉरबिड. But when she was little, at that point of time, one time she had fever and we did not know that, and we just touched her body and we kept on giving medicine. And somehow second day she just stopped crying also. So we called so many of our neighbors and they said that, oh my God, the baby has rashes all over the body. And we saw that the bottle from which this couple was giving the medicine was completely expired. And they did not know because they could not see that. Okay, so these children got an idea that might as well do something for the blinds where the machine would read out for them. Okay, so with that, let me show you something. So this is where it comes as, okay. So every idea starts with what you call it to be empathy. That means तुम्हें किसी की दया आए and you try to synthesize that idea. सहानुभूति से शुरू होती है and then you try defining that idea कि क्या करना है मुझे, and try talking to people, ideate that everybody will start giving their ideas. विचारों को एक साथ रखना, सबके विचारों को एक साथ रखना, and then try making a prototype and finally testing it. So let me try showing you something what they made. Okay, so basically they tried making something what is called as keyboard. Now this was the first machine what they made, and here as you can see, suppose if I try putting up a bottle जहाँ पे कुछ लिखा होगा, it will start talking, that the machine will start talking that what is being written on the bottle, so all the blind people will get help like that. Okay, now they started thinking that what happens if it's a big Amazon box or something. Then for any particular idea, it so happens that usually you have to keep on upgrading and updating. Okay, so with that thought, what happened was that the precision in the design to standardize the image capture and output. You can see that small bottle to big boxes could be read. Then they also, gradual process of updating and upgrading the product to reach out to grassroots level. They started with 7 languages and 15 different dialects, जिसमें वो machine बोलेगा मराठी, गुजराती, तड़पदी, काठियावाड़ी and so on. Regional accent निकालेगा. Now in the form of apps, so no need to carry the keyboard digital also. So basically it will be on the phone only. And when you have a team, basically what happens is that team will be something where everybody has a different set of expertise. Some will be in the marketing, some will be in the designing, some will be in the product development, obviously finance. So whatever is required for your startup, you will have to find out people, who are really, really good with it. So I gave you one example that how a simple idea starts with empathy, and then by design thinking, you ask n number of people, and with that, you try innovating the product. Then there is one more example, which is absolutely amazing, that cancer patients say, this is the example being done in USA. So there are lots of patients who are children. And whenever they are taken for MRI or CAT scan, that machine is like quite a noisy machine, and the children are really, really scared of that noise. So what happens is that they tried making something where the room was dark enough, and what we can they tried changing the whole setup. I will show it to you in the video later. And finally, one more thing I would like to tell you is that, suppose, let me try showing you one simple example with a video, and I think that would be something which will immediately. All right. So how an engineer would think that, okay, I hope you are able to see my screen. Okay, can you see my screen, please?
Can someone
Yes.
reply if at all?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But when you talk about finally, that automatically just with the this is by an engineer, correct? Now, with the little, what do you mean by Jugadu innovation? So when you say Jugadu innovation, innovation is something where, in India, we are always lack of funds for something and lack of resources. जब हमें कोई help करने वाला नहीं हो, especially पैसे के बारे में या कोई resources या सुविधाओं के लिए, तो at that time तुम्हें कुछ सोचना पड़ेगा. तो वो सोचने का is something which is like simply amazing. Okay, so आप देखो, so in
अनार को बड़ा, छोटा एंड मीडियम साइज का ऑटोमेटिकली
rods are being put up at a
Sort हो रहा है,
different angle, and
और
here
किसी
the
भी-
smallest to the largest, you can see that.
ह्यूमंस की जरूरत नहीं ज्यादा कि और कुछ भी इसमें वो नहीं हो सकता कि आगे पीछे की छोटा बड़ा गलत साइज चले जाए किसी और बॉक्स में. कुछ देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, फटाफट ये कर रहे हैं.
Right? So
तो आप देख
basically,
सकते हैं कितना
what we
इजी.
are trying to understand is that this is called as Jugadu innovation, that without any resources, when you have lack of funds, when you have to actually think about something which is very, very rare, at that point of time, you have to think and have some kind of different idea in your mind. And finally, a very, very small video, which definitely I would, really go fast and forward, but still at least you will get an idea.
Hi, I'm Doug D.
So as I rightly said,
and
when
some of them make
the
noises.
CAT scan is done,
a pirate adventure
imagine
or
that when
something,
children are
as
going
well as music
inside
that leads them
the
into the room, and
Halloween
coloring
setup
books.
or
So we want to have
something,
elements that are just all
the
day inside the
Disney,
place.
okay, Disney related movies.
My name's Liz
they're
Auer.
familiar with the
It's like
characters,
a,
and as
it's
you
like
can
the
see,
dock
the children will not get
with the water
scared
on the
because of
sides
this particular
and
activity.
animals
This
and
is the
things on the
perfect
walls. And the
example of
CT scanner
innovating
itself
in terms
was
of
like the
design
wheel of a
thinking, that we
pirate
would
ship.
ask hundreds of
It's
people that what do
for a
children like of
child,
this age,
it can be kind
what
of
kind of
scary
children
to
are
see
coming
things that make
here,
noise
whether they are
and look very
boys, girls, what is the major
institutional.
age group, what are the
this
different
is-
types of movies
you're not even really thinking
what
about
are
the
their
fact that
favorite
you're
characters.
doing a procedure.
So basically, when you are talking to people a lot and interacting more, at that point of time, you understand that what is the actual choice of them. So I think with this, I think I would hand it over to Salil. And just a second. So possibly, yeah. So the fundamental principles behind this do-good innovation, as I rightly said, was seek opportunity from adversity, do more with less, think and act flexibly, keep it simple, include the margin of the society, and follow your heart. And if you talk about business canvas model, see, once you have an idea, basically you must try making up what you call it to be the business canvas model. And that is something absolutely very, very important. So when you make business canvas model, you will understand what is your actual marketing strategy, what are your customer, who all are your customers. You will also understand, suppose when trust me, when I started doing my endeavor at that point of time, Salil will be talking more about Sinotech at that point of time. But I never thought that birthday parties could be my revenue channel. It could be, done in a way which I wished that nicely I could do scientific workshops where I could teach children and do science-based birthday parties. So business canvas model making is something so very important for everybody. Those who have idea, you can download the format from the internet and you can try putting in your ideas in there and you will know what it is. Okay. So basically what we are trying to understand is that the next part, what I would like to tell you is that all my dear children who are students, especially, okay, or the adults who are into just making up their startups, Startup India is something which Government of India has very much put up, and you can go to the website and check out more about it. There are schemes given by different ministries in terms of external affairs, finance, broadcast, railway, education, depending upon which ministry or what kind of idea you generate. Okay, you can go to that. And then state governments also, there are different schemes. And if I tell you that Gujarat government, especially, we have a fantastic startup page also of our own state, and there the innovator, for innovators, there is a separate login which you can actually make and do, and just explore for yourself that what kind of funding is basically government is offering in terms of startups. So, and finally, startup policy by Gujarat government is there is SSIP 1 and now SSIP 2 is also implemented. That is Student Startup and Innovation Policy, which is by Government of Gujarat, which is aiming to create an integrated statewide university-based innovation ecosystems to support the innovations and ideas of these young students. So basically, my children don't stay laid back. Okay, you must have that drive to come out, and you must have that drive to come out of the society and say that, okay, this is the idea I have and support me. All right. And in different universities, you have different incubation centers. Now here I have just put up 3. Every university and every colleges now have their individual incubation centers which you can go to. GUSEC is the one which is in Gujarat University. IIT Bombay and IIT Delhi, of course, are supposedly very well-known incubation centers in the whole of India. Basically, I, as women entrepreneur, got chosen out of 24 participants all over India, first to IIT Bombay, and then 26 participants from all over India in IIT Delhi for advanced entrepreneurship programs. And trust me, all these programs are, they teach you so much about different aspects of business in terms of understanding startups, understanding business canvas model, understanding your funds, revenues, and so on. So try, making yourself available there. Anyway, so now more about our very own startup to make you understand that how, you can have a simple idea and that idea converting into innovation. Over to Salil, please.
Yeah, so basically, as I said, I was in a corporate, and I, Megha, and my son, our son, who was about 4 years old in those days, we moved to US on a work visa, and we were there for a couple of years. And there, our child was, going to Montessori school. He was very young. And Montessori methodology supposedly, and it is probably the best education method in the whole world. So when we came back here, this was in 2010. When we came back here, we realized that our education system, that means Indian education system, also is great. The only probably missing thing is the application-based or practical learning, which is to be coupled with the theoretical base. So when we came back for first few years, Megha was busy with her own projects and I was busy with re-establishing myself in Indian environment and all. But in around 2015, when my son was in grade 4, one fine day, Megha was teaching my son and one of his very close friends at home. And his friend said that, this is some science related principle he saw on YouTube. And he asked some question to Megha. And to that, Megha asked him that, why did you see this? And he said, on YouTube. So then Megha asked him that whether you know about the principle behind that or not. He said, no, I don't know the principle. I did the activity. So that, kind of ignited, generated a spark in our mind that, again, re-emphasizing that probably Indian education system has a challenge of not supporting the practical or application-based learning. So Megha started teaching both of them in a unique way, combining the theory and practicals. And then what happened was that this got popular in my son's class. And then his few of more friends, they started coming home to be taught by Megha. And then 2 years down the line, their siblings started asking. And that is when we thought that, no, now that idea is generated, and now it is time for us to expand it further in terms of actual business. So we established our own academy called Sinotech, which is Sci of science, No of knowledge, and Tech of technology. So it's a combination of science, knowledge, and technology. And I'll show you briefly on the slides also. But then if I talk about the basics of it, basically Sinotech has 2 different modules. Our main flagship, okay, first let me see, let me tell you what problems we are solving. So what was the problem? We tried to find out the problem that, first of all, problem for school children. So first of all, science and math as a subject, they were very, very fearful for an average student. Number 1, they were very fearful. Number 2, children were not enjoying the way they were being taught to them. And science and math, even if you're not a science student, they live with you lifelong. So it was very important for somebody to generate aptitude and attitude and interest of science and math in them. So basically, at Sinotech, what we do is that we combine multiple languages of learning. And that is what I tell you when I talk about our flagship program, which is a year-long program. Year-long program, we do from grade 2 to 10, where child gets associated with our academy. We have a full-fledged academy in satellite area close to Star Bazaar with the creative labs and all. So child comes every week to the academy, and whatever he or she is learning in the school, curriculum-wise, chapter-wise, concept-wise, board-wise, and grade-wise, everything not only gets covered theoretically, but also experientially. And when I say experiential, I don't mean only experiments. It's a combination of field trips, audiovisual, model making, do-it-yourself kits, experiments, for very small children, even creative craft work, experts intervention, storytelling. So each and every concept of each and every grade in science and math is coupled with theoretical base with the multiple language of learning what I talked to you about. To quote you a simple example, suppose, and probably you can talk to them about the volcano part of it.
Yeah, so basically here on the slide, you can see that first the theory of the volcano is being taught. Then obviously the chemical experiment with chemicals, you try performing and showing them a volcano that actually how does it happen. But absolutely the learning is incomplete without them doing it. So here you can see the hands-on being done by them with the materials, what can be handled by children. So ultimately, and obviously it could be backed up by nice crossword or word search or something which is related to the volcano, which will, enrich their vocabulary.
Similarly, in grade 6, 7, 8, they have a topic called fiber to fabrics, how fiber turns into fabric. So basically what happens is that Megha would first talk to them very, very, very basics of what is fiber, what is textiles and all. Then I come as an expert because of my textile background. I come to teach them as an expert, where I show them a lot of samples, what is warp, what is weft, what is weaving, what is knitting and all. Then we take them to a very reputed mill here. We had just field trip about 2 weeks back to that mill, where they actually see the weaving part of it, how the weft is inserted, how the fabric is made and all. And then when they come back to the academy, each and every one of them will get a micro loom where they actually knit their own fabric. So basically, it's a combination of everything. First, Mega teaches them theory completely. Then I come as an expert. Then we go for a field trip, and then they do themselves the knitting part of it. So these are the multiple lines of learning. How we teach at Sinotech. There are 2-3 advantages here. First, with this kind of teaching, it's a fun way teaching. So first, the children would enjoy what they are learning. Number one. Number two, they are less fearful of seemingly difficult science and math as subjects. And thirdly, and probably the most important part, is that the learning is with them for lifelong. Today, I am a science student, and if at all somebody asks me a function of heart, probably I may not be able to explain. Had I learned like this, what we are teaching, probably I would be very, very clear in explaining, even if after so many years. And Sinotech's other perspective is also that we want to take this experiential learning to grassroots level and larger level also, not only restricted to our own academy. So we do a lot of such kind of seminars and all across Ahmedabad, Gujarat and all. These are some of the reputed schools where we have already been to. We run we have our own trust or foundation called Sinotech Education Foundation. There are schools in Gujarat and near Ahmedabad where just by the name of the school, there is not even a building. People or children learn just under a tree. So how would they come to Sinotech? So instead of they coming here, we take experiential learning there. We are blessed with a lot of partners, including AMA, to be helping us out with their CSR funds and all, where they sponsor all these things. We do it on completely no profit, no loss methodology, and finally the beneficiaries are all those less privileged children. I was talking a few minutes back about technology, how technology has helped us. So, when we put up Sinotech, we started with 2 children. Now, today we have 200 plus children in our academy. But then we always thought that how to, one main thing about startup is the scaling up. So how do you scale up? One simple way of scaling up is obviously to put franchisee and all, which we were not interested, because we can replicate everything, but how do I replicate Mega's passion in teaching children and all? So basically, technology helped us out hugely. During COVID, we went online, and after COVID, we have been able to develop a hybrid module where all the offline sessions what we have, they are streamed in real time to the online community in real time. So they are not recorded sessions. So say, for example, today there is a session of grade 6 from 4 to 6 today evening at the academy. Then at the same time, people from Bombay, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Muscat, Dubai, Qatar, everybody would join online. So they can lively interact also with the faculty. At the same time, what we do is that we make bag of kits and send them all wherever they are, so that they can do all the activities also online with us. So technology helped us. So today we, as I said, from 2 to 200. Now we want to go from 200 to 500. We have limited capacity here. But when it comes to online, there is no capacity limitation. So that is how technology is kind of helping us hugely when it comes to Sinotech. So basically, we call it hybrid module actually. Till now, if I talk about the traction, in last about 7 years, we have taught more than about 55,000 children so far, and still counting. We have conducted almost about 800 plus workshops across India, supported 200 plus schools and 100 plus teachers training program, because we always feel that if at all we teach one teacher, then the learning from that teacher would go to probably 100 or 200 more students. The basic idea is to propagate experiential learning or application-based learning to the grassroots level and to mass and to the community. That is what is the main aim of Sinotech. And new education policy by government is helping hugely in it. So we thank Gujarat government to implement
such programs,
programs and NEPs. About the uniqueness, I mean, as Megha was talking, the idea has to be very unique. So till now, we can proudly say that as far as we know, there is nobody like us, at least in India, who offer graded program. Yes, there are, on the screen you can see a few of them who probably give kind of application-based learning and all, but then either they are not graded or they are not done offline, or they are not done hybrid. So basically, we take pride in saying that that we are the only one in India as of now who are offering something like this. And we really take pride because we have invested our sweat and blood in it. It has not been an easy journey at all. Imagine, I mean, she was a professor in a university. I was heading marketing division of one of the largest conglomerates of textiles. We both left our work and started this startup. We had our own ups and downs, but then, as I said, passion and patience. Both, we are very clear right from day one that we both have to have these two virtues, which made us on. And from 2 to 200, we are here today at Sinotech. And I would love the audience, students, and the educators, whoever are listening to us, they're most welcome to visit our academy, talk to us. We love meeting people. We would love to have you see our experiential labs and all. Over to Megha.
Yeah, so basically, the purpose of the program, and we can see that continuously there are more than 100 participants, and I'm so happy to see that the children are ready to learn. And trust me, if you have something in you, if you have the drive to learn something, we are there to help you out. We are here to encourage young members to think big, to achieve bigger. And trust me, it just starts with handful. So do not worry. We also started with just 7 children, and now we have 200 plus, right? So, and it's like, you have to be actually, as Salil rightly said, you have to be patient enough, to start something when you are starting new. We can provide them support and handhold them for growth. You can actually email us on the same sinotech@gmail.com. We can hold chain programs and event on startups. Basically, we try, suppose, I recently finished in one university doing a 3-day program on understanding idea, pitching, what is design thinking, making of business canvas model and all that. So basically, if you have that idea when you're a student yourself, possibly when you get to have an idea immediately, you can begin with that. Okay. And we can also connect you to the appropriate incubation centers. You yourself can go walk there, but then still, if you have any doubts in your mind that, oh, my idea is so and so, can I actually go, then you can actually write to us. We can connect you to the right people. All right. And that's the way I think we can help you guys. And
you are probably in one of the best ecosystems India has in terms of the state, where Gujarat government is doing hugely. I mean, as Megha rightly said, there's so many programs under which you can enroll yourself under Gujarat government schemes. They are, believe me, they are so efficiently helping out the students specifically for the innovation part of it. May it be other partners like Ahmedabad Management Association, AMA, or Elixir Foundation, or UNICEF. They all are completely, we know them personally, and we know how efficiently they work and how sincerely they wish to handhold you to take your innovation to further convert into actual meaningful full business.
And always be proud of your own idea. Always be proud of your own setup. As I rightly say, think science, think Sinotech, as you can see behind us also. Yeah. So basically, we are really proud of what we are doing. And trust me, that was a disruption in the education sector at that point of time. And still, one cannot be standstill if you want to progress. Obviously, you have to update and upgrade yourself continuously in terms of learning something new, learning some different aspects, not only of business, but possibly, how you can give better experience to children, to your customers. And in that way, suppose next week itself in AMA, we have a offline program by Dr. Manan Thakrar this week, right? So on Saturday itself for parents on happy parenting. So basically, we have to keep our parents happy. Yeah. So that is what you have to keep on doing. So my children, if you have any questions, we are open for that.
Sir, ma'am, one question which generally comes કે જ્યારે પણ વિદ્યાર્થી ઇનોવેશન કરવાનું વિચારે કે તો એન્ટરપ્રેન્યોરશિપમાં જવાનું વિચારે તો એક એવો આસ્પેક્ટ હોય છે ધ રિસ્ક ટેકિંગ કેપેસિટી કે ભાઈ આ રિસ્ક લેવું જોઈએ કે ના લેવું જોઈએ. So what is your thought on this, or your giveaway to all the students who are not so on risk taking side કે ભાઈ રિસ્ક લેશો તો જ આગળ વધશો? That is the main thing. So what is your message to all the students on risk taking side?
ઓકે, આનો જવાબ હું એવી રીતે આપીશ કે આટલા બધા પાર્ટિસિપન્ટ છે અને મને એવું જરૂરથી ગમે કે બધાને મારો આન્સર સમજાય કે હું શું બોલું છું, તો હું ગુજરાતીમાં આનો જવાબ આપીશ કે તમે રિસ્ક જે શરૂ કરો ત્યારે તમારે જે રિસ્ક તમે લો, હવે એ રિસ્ક 3 રીતે હોઈ શકે. એક પૈસાની દ્રષ્ટિએ હોઈ શકે, એક તમારા સમયની દ્રષ્ટિએ હોઈ શકે, અને એક નેચરલી તમારે ખૂબ જ ધીરજ રાખવી પડે એની દ્રષ્ટિએ હોઈ શકે. તો આઈ થિંક તમારી પાસે રાઈટ ટીમ મેમ્બર હોય કે જે પૈસાનું મેનેજમેન્ટ વ્યવસ્થિત કરતું હોય, કે તમને ક્યાંકથી મેળવી આપતું હોય, કે મારી સાથે એવું પાર્ટનર હતું કે જે પૈસાની ચિંતા મારે કરવાની નહોતી. અમે બંને જોબ છોડીને બેઠા હતા, છતાં પણ એણે એ પ્રકારનું માઇન્ડસેટ હતું કે એ પૈસાની વ્યવસ્થા જે કાંઈ કરવાની હોય કે એ રિસ્ક એ લઈ શકે.
So Sinotech was always bootstrapped.
Yeah.
Bootstrapping
એટલે
જે
તમે પોતે,
audience છે એના માટે કહું કે bootstrapping એવું છે કે એમાં જે ફંડ હોય, ઇનિશિયલ ફંડિંગ ટુ
એ
સ્ટાર્ટ
તમે પોતે કરો.
એ તમે પોતે કરો. તમારા કિસ્સામાં યુ ડોન્ટ હેવ anybody to fund you basically.
સો બેઝિકલી અમે લોકો એવું વિચાર્યું હતું કૃણાલભાઈ એ વખતે જે સેટઅપ માટે મને ભણાવવા માટે જે રિસોર્સિસ જોતા હોય, અને હેન્ડ્સ ઓન લર્નિંગ માટે તો બીજા ધોરણથી લઈને 10મા ધોરણ સુધી કેટલું બધું સામાન જોઈએ સાયન્સ માટે, તો એ બધું પહેલા વસાવવું, કોસ્મેટિક ઓલા પર ન જવું, ડેકોરેશન ને બધું તો 5 વર્ષ પછી બન્યું. ત્યાં સુધી જે પહેલા રિસોર્સિસ જે ફર્સ્ટ રિક્વાયર્ડ હતા, ફર્સ્ટ ફ્રુગલ ઇનોવેશન આપણે જેને જુગાડું કહીએ, એ વાત હતી કે એનાથી જ શરૂ કર્યું હતું અને એવી જ રીતે આગળ વધ્યા. અને સરસ રીતે પછી તો આગળ જતા ફંડિંગ મળે, આગળ જતા તમે પિચિંગ કરો અને ઘણું શીખો. અને રિસ્કની બાબતમાં એવું છે કે મેં કહ્યું એમ 3 રિસ્ક જો આપણે લેવા તૈયાર હોય, પૈસાનું રિસ્ક જે એ તૈયાર હતા, અને પેશન્સ અને ટાઈમનું રિસ્ક જે હું તૈયાર હતી, અને સખત ધીરજથી કે ના આ રીત કામ કરવાની જ છે. અને આપણે તો 16માં શરૂ કર્યું અને 2020માં NEPમાં એન્ડોર્સ થઈ ગયું કે આવી જ રીતની શિક્ષણ પદ્ધતિ હોવી જોઈએ. એટલે આઈ થિંક ગુડ ટુ ગો.
રિસ્કમાં બીજું હું એ પણ કહીશ કે 2 જાતના રિસ્ક હોય છે. એક આંધળું રિસ્ક અને બીજું કેલ્ક્યુલેટેડ રિસ્ક. હું કદાચ એક આંધળા રિસ્કની થોડોક વિરુદ્ધ છું. રિસ્ક ચોક્કસ લેવું જોઈએ. હું ઓલવેઝ એવું કહેતો કે અમે લોકો ફોર ઇન્ફોર્મેશન મારે 52 થયા ગઈકાલે મારી બર્થડે 52 વર્ષ પૂરા થયા. હવે 5 વર્ષ પહેલા છે, 47 વર્ષે અમે ચાલુ કર્યું. હવે એ બહુ જ રિસ્કી છે, કારણ કે એટ ધેટ એજ યુ હેવ સો મેની લાયબિલિટીઝ ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ અમારા બાળકને એજ્યુકેશન માટે ફંડ જોઈતા બધું જ હોય. અત્યારનું જે ઓડિયન્સ છે આપણી જોડે, એ લોકો બધા બહુ નાના છે, એટલે ઘણી બધી લાયબિલિટી એ લોકો જોડે છે જ નહીં. સો એ વખતે જો રિસ્ક લે તો દેટ ઇઝ મચ ઇઝીયર ટુ હેન્ડલ. એમાં સ્ટેક્સ ઓછા હોય છે. સો અર્લિયર ધ બેટર, પણ એટ ધ સેમ ટાઈમ આઈ વુડ ઓલવેઝ સે કે કેલ્ક્યુલેટેડ રિસ્ક લો. તમે એવું રિસ્ક ના લો કે તમે સાવ ફંડને કારણે રોડ પર આવી જાવ, અથવા તો ઇવેન્ચ્યુઅલી આઈડિયા બહુ જ સરસ હોય પણ તમે ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટ ના કરી શકો. સો કેલ્ક્યુલેટેડ રિસ્ક લેવું જ જોઈએ, કારણ કે મને ઓલવેઝ એવું થાય કે યાર આ વખતે મેં લીધું અને થોડુંક વહેલું લીધું હોત તો ઇટ વુડ હેવ બીન બેટર. પણ બેટર લેટ ધેન નેવર બેઝિકલી. એટલે એટ સમ પોઈન્ટ ઓફ ટાઈમ રિસ્ક વગર તો રિટર્ન છે જ, ધેટ ઇઝ વેરી ક્લિયર.
સર, એક રિસ્કની સાથે સાથે સર એક મેનેજમેન્ટ. ઘણી બધી વખત સર ઇનોવેશનની જ્યારે વાત આવે ત્યારે એક ટીડિયસ પ્રોસેસ હોય છે. લોકોને કદાચ ઘણી બધી વાર ખબર નથી હોતી કે ઇનોવેશન કરવું કેવી રીતના, ક્યાંથી સ્ટાર્ટ કરવું. અને મોસ્ટલી લાઈફ સ્કિલ્સ જે હોય છે એમાં લેક કરે છે. ઘણી બધી વખતે આપણી પાસે આઈડિયા મસ્ત હોય પણ એને કોમ્યુનિકેટ ના કરી શકતા હોય, એને રિપ્રેઝેન્ટ ના કરી શકતા હોય. તો સર, વોટ ઇઝ યોર ટેક, લાઈક હાઉ લાઈફ સ્કિલ્સ આર મચ મોર ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ઇન ધ ઇનોવેશન સેક્ટર?
લાઈફ સ્કિલ્સમાં તો એવું છે કે નાની નાની વાતમાં નાનપણથી જ ધારો કે આપણે એમ કે ને કે ભણ્યા પણ ગણ્યા નહીં, એવું કહેવાય ને, તો દરેક વસ્તુ માટે આપણને હેન્ડ્સ ઓન સરસ રીતે આવડતું હોય તો આઈ થિંક આપણે ઘણું સારી રીતે કોઈ પણ સિચ્યુએશનને ડીલ કરી શકીએ. અને આપણને એ સ્કિલ ઘણું બધું શીખવાડતી હોય છે. આજે આપણે એમ કહીએ કે હમણાં જ ગુજરાત ચેમ્બર ઓફ કોમર્સમાં એક બહુ જ સરસ કોઈક સરસ ઇનોવેશન વાળું લઈ આવ્યું કે જેમાં દિવાળી માટે તૈયાર દીવડાઓની જે વાટ હોય એ ગુલાબ ને મોગરો ને બધી તૈયાર, એટલે એમાં ફ્રેગ્રન્ટ જ આવે એમાં ડાયરેક્ટ. એટલે દેટ ઇઝ સચ અ બ્યુટીફુલ ઇનોવેશન. આ એક સાદી વાત છે કે બાળકોને સૌથી પહેલા તો એ જ સમજવાનું છે કે કેટલી નાની વાતથી પણ ઇનોવેશન શરૂ થતું હોય છે. એના માટે કઈ બહુ મોટું હાઈફાઈ કરવાનું હોતું જ નથી.
પણ એટ ધ સેમ ટાઈમ ભાઈ જેમ તમે કીધું એમ લાઈફ સ્કિલ જરૂરી જ હોય છે. અને બધાને કદાચ દે આર નોટ ફોર્ચ્યુનેટ ઇનફ ટુ હેવ લાઈફ સ્કિલ્સ બિલ્ડ ઇન ફ્રોમ ચાઇલ્ડહુડ, ઓર પ્રોબબ્લી દે આર નોટ પાર્ટનર્સ વિથ સમબડી હુ હેવ લાઈફ સ્કિલ્સ. સો એમાં જેમ મેઘાએ પહેલા કીધું એમ ઘણા બધા ઇન્ક્યુબેશન સેન્ટર્સ ગુજરાત ગવર્મેન્ટમાં યુનિવર્સિટીઝમાં છે કે જેમાં when I say incubation centers, એમાં માત્ર કે સ્ટાર્ટઅપ ને ફંડ એના માટે જ નથી હોતા, એમાં મેન્ટરશિપ અપાય છે, એમાં કેટલા બધા પ્રેક્ટિકલી જીવસેક ને બધી જગ્યાએ અમને ખ્યાલ છે, બીકોઝ વી હેવ બીન પાર્ટ ઓફ ધ ઇકોસિસ્ટમ ફોર ઓલમોસ્ટ લાસ્ટ અબાઉટ નાઉ 7-8 years. એવરી વીક કોઈક ના કોઈક ઇવેન્ટ્સ, પ્રોગ્રામ્સ, આવી રીતના સેશન, સેમિનાર્સ અને ફ્રી ઓફ કોસ્ટ
અને
થયા જ
બતાવો કે
કરતા
તમે
હોય.
લોકો બિલકુલ ક્યાંય ટાઈમ બગાડવાને બદલે આવી બધી જગ્યાએ સાંભળવા જવું, જે ફ્રી એન્ડ ઓપન ફોર ઓલ હોય, એ ફ્રી વસ્તુ હંમેશા ખરાબ જ હોય એવું હોતું નથી. એ માણસ જ્યાં સુધી પહોંચ્યું છે, એ કઈ રીતે પહોંચ્યું છે, એ માત્ર જર્ની સાંભળીએ તો પણ આપણા માટે ઘણું શીખવાનું હોય છે. એટલે આવું બધું અટેન્ડ કરવાથી ઘણો બધો ફાયદો થતો હોય છે. અને એઝ સલીલ રાઇટલી સેડ, મેન્ટરિંગ ઇઝ સમથિંગ ઇન એવરી સેક્ટર ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ બિઝનેસના જેટલા પણ સેક્ટર્સ છે. આજે ધારો કે હું મારી જ વાત કરું તો IITમાં when I went in 2018 for the first time, I thought that being a PhD and being with 25 years of experience, I know everything. But trust me, my first question for the revenue model, I could not answer that question because I had no clue about the finance at that time. So it's like it's always a learning for anybody. એને બધા ડિફરન્ટ સેક્ટર્સમાં તમે શીખવા માટે તમારી જાતને ઓપન રાખો તો આઈ થિંક ઇટ્સ ઓલવેઝ બેટર.
અમે આજે પણ કહીએ છીએ કે આજે એવરી ડે ચિલ્ડ્રન આર ટીચિંગ અસ સમથિંગ ન્યૂ. એવરી ડે વી લર્ન સમથિંગ ન્યૂ. એટલે લર્નિંગ માટે તો ઓલવેઝ ઓપન જ રહેવાનું. અને આ બધામાં મેન્ટરશિપ અને ગાઈડન્સ એ બહુ જ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ હોય છે. બિયોન્ડ ફંડિંગ, પિચિંગ કેવી રીતે કરવાનું, માત્ર તમને 30 સેકન્ડ હોય કે 3 મિનિટ હોય, એમાં તમારો આખો આઈડિયા સમજાવવાનો ઇન્વેસ્ટર છે, તો હાઉ ડુ યુ ડુ દેટ? એ બધા માટે આ બધા ઇન્ક્યુબેશન સેન્ટર્સ બહુ જ સરસ હેલ્પ કરે છે. તમને તો કૃણાલભાઈ ખબર છે, બધી જ જગ્યાએ ઇવન AMA માં કેટલા બધા કોર્સિસ આવી રીતે ચાલે. સો એવું બધી રીતે તમારી જાતને એક્સપોઝ કરો.
અને સર એક યુટ્યુબ ઉપરથી એક ક્વેશ્ચન છે, મે બી ધ લાસ્ટ ક્વેશ્ચન, કે સર ઇનોવેશન આપણે જ્યારે કરતા જતા એન્ટરપ્રિન્યોરશિપ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ, તો ઘણી બધી વાર ફેલિયર્સને મળવું પડે છે. આમ ફેલિયર્સનો ભેટો થઈ જ જાય છે. તેમાં ઘણી બધી વખતે એવું થાય છે કે સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ માઇટ ગેટ ડિપ્રેસ, સ્ટ્રેસમાં આવી જાય કે ભાઈ નહીં કરી શકે, આપણા બસની વાત નથી. સર, વોટ ઇઝ યોર લાઈક લાસ્ટ મેસેજ ટુ ઓલ ઓફ ધેમ, લાઈક ફેલિયર્સને કેવી રીતના ડીલ કરવું?
હવે આ મારે સ્ટેટમેન્ટ અહીંયા કરવું જોઈએ કે નહીં મને ખબર નથી, પણ સ્ટેટિસ્ટિક્સ સેઝ કે ભાઈ 95% of the startups fail, and that is a fact of life. We have to be ready with that.
Because આપણને એવું લાગે કે આપણો આઈડિયા બહુ ફેન્ટાસ્ટિક છે, પણ is it actually the need of the market? That is something, the first question you must ask yourself, કે તમે કસ્ટમરને બેટર એક્સપિરિયન્સ આપો છો, તમે કસ્ટમરને ખરેખર એની નીડ પ્રમાણે પ્રોડક્ટ આપો છો, કે ખરેખર એની જરૂરિયાત છે કે નહીં એ તમે આપો છો. તમે બહુ સુપર્બ કરો છો, એ કોઈ અનડાઉટેડલી, પણ એની જરૂરિયાત છે કે નહીં એ તમારી જાતને સૌથી પહેલા પૂછો. ત્યારે તમને ખબર પડશે કે ફેલ્યોર હતું કે નતું. બરાબર?
ધારો કે જરૂરિયાત હોય તો પણ then there are lot of other reasons કે આઈડિયા બહુ જ સરસ હોય, સોસાયટીને જરૂર પણ હોય, પણ કદાચ ફંડિંગમાં અટકી જાય, કદાચ મેન્ટરશિપમાં અટકી જાય, કદાચ કઈ રીતે આગળ વધવું એ ખબર ના હોય, સારી ટીમ ના બની હોય. આ બધું ભેગું કરવું એ બહુ જ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ હોય છે. અને એને માટે જ આવી રીતે કોઈની મેન્ટરશિપ હોય, then it is not an easy path, but it becomes a manageable path basically. એટલે 95% સ્ટાર્ટઅપ ફેલ છે એટલે હું સ્ટાર્ટઅપ નહીં કરું, એ એટીટ્યુડ જરાય એક્સેપ્ટેબલ નથી. તમારે થઈ શકે ફેલ્યોર. કેટલા બધા લોકો આજે તમે કેટલા બધા લોકોને જો, સ્ટીવ જોબ્સની વાત કરીએ આપણે, તો કેટલી વાર ફેલ થઈને, ફેલ્યોર થઈને કેટલી વાર ઉપર આવેલો માણસ છે. આપણને ઓલવેઝ એની સક્સેસ છે કે ભાઈ એપલ તો જોરદાર આમ તેમ, પણ if you read his autobiography, you'll realize કે how many times he himself have been sacked from Apple and Pixar ચાલુ કર્યું ના અંતે. So you have to continuously be mindful કે ના, આ એ પેશન એટલું હોવું જ જોઈએ કે ના મારે કરવું જ છે, આ નહીં તો આ નહીં તો આ, અને સક્સેસ જવાય જ. If you are honest in your hard work and honest in your thought process, સક્સેસફુલ. અમારું સાયનોટેકમાં એક અમારી ટેગલાઇન છે કે એક્સપોઝર લીડ્સ ટુ એક્સપ્લોરેશન અને એક્સપ્લોરેશન ટુ ઇનોવેશન. સો તમે જેટલી તમારી જાતને અલગ અલગ ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટીથી એક્સપોઝ કરશો, એટલું તમને વધારે ફાયદો થશે, એટલું તમને ખ્યાલ આવશે કે તમારે સ્ટાર્ટઅપ ચાલુ કર્યા પછી ઘણી બધી વાર ફાઇન ટ્યુનિંગ બી કરવું પડે કે યાર મેં આવું વિચાર્યું હતું પણ આને બદલે આવું કરીએ. સો એ ક્યારે તમને મળે? એ એક્સપોઝર હોય તો જ મળે તમને. તમે એક રૂમમાં ભરાઈને કર્યા કરો, then it becomes very difficult basically. So always expose yourself to opportunity, because that only will lead to exploration, and exploration only lead to innovation, and finally a successful innovation in terms of successful business venture.
Thank you so much, Salil sir and Mega ma'am, આખા સેશન માટે and giving insights કે એક સ્ક્રેચ થી સ્ટાર્ટ કરીને પણ એક સારો બિઝનેસ કરી શકાય અને ઇનોવેશન માટે કોઈ ઉંમર નથી હોતી, જે તમે બહુ સારી રીતના કીધું. કેલ્ક્યુલેટિવ રિસ્ક લેવા, એક્સપ્લોર કરવું, નવી નવી વસ્તુઓને જાણવી
અને વાળ ઉતારી દેવા.
That is most important thing, and that comes from experience, and we have experienced mentors like you for today's session. So thank you once again to both of you, and on behalf of Department of Education, Government of Gujarat, UNICEF, Ahmedabad Management Association and Elixir Foundation, we would once again thank all our audience જે જોઈન થઈ. આપણે યુટ્યુબ ઉપર લગભગ 400 નો આંકડો પાર કરી દીધો હતો. અહીંયા આપણી પાસે ઓન ઓફ 200 જેટલા અટેન્ડીઝ હતા. સો થેન્ક યુ વન્સ અગેન. અને ટુ ઓલ ધ ઓડિયન્સ, ચેટની અંદર એક લિંક છે, એ લિંકથી તમે તમારો ફીડબેક આ સેશન માટે અને સર્ટિફિકેટ આપી શકો છો. અને યુટ્યુબ ઉપર જેટલા પણ લોકો છે, ચેટની અંદર પિન કરેલું છે એક લિંક, દેટ ઇઝ ફોર સર્ટિફિકેટ એન્ડ ફીડબેક. સો પ્લીઝ એ ભરજો, એના પછી તમને તમારા સર્ટિફિકેટ્સ મળશે. એન્ડ ટિલ દેન ચેટમાં જેટલા પણ લોકો છે who wants to thank Mega ma'am and Salil sir, please go on. And this was for today the idea to innovation ની આખી જે વેબિનાર હતી તેના માટે. So
and as I said, all the audience, they are most welcome to meet us anytime. Visit Sinotech.
They can email us.
They can email us also. They can visit our Facebook and Instagram page by the same name, Sinotech, and you'll be able to see a lot of interesting videos what children are doing. એવું નથી કે માત્ર એડલ્ટ જ સ્ટાર્ટઅપ કરી શકે. ચિલ્ડ્રન પાસે એટલા બધા આઈડિયાઝ હોય છે. અમે લોકો દર વર્ષના એન્ડમાં બહુ જ મોટો સાયન્સનો કાર્નિવલ કરીએ છીએ, અને એમાં ગયા વખતે કાર્નિવલમાં લગભગ 200 પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ હતા અને 2,500 માણસો આવ્યા. એટલા બધા મોટા પાયા પર કરીએ છીએ, અને એમાં એટલા બધા છોકરાઓ નાની ઉંમરના 2જા, 3જા, 4થા, 5મા ધોરણના છોકરાઓ એટલા સરસ આઈડિયાઝ લઈને આવે છે. તો અમારી જોડે કનેક્ટેડ રહેજો ને બહુ જ મજા પડશે. વી ઓલ્સો વુડ લવ ટુ મીટ ધ યુથ લાઈક યુ ઓલ.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, Kunal.